In this tutorial, I'll show you how to create a bullet mesh by a curve modeling method. Let's import a reference image. I'll share the link in the description below. G and Z to move on the Z-axis. I'll lower the image's opacity. Let's add a curve point. If you don't see the curve point, please activate an Extra Objects add-on. Do you remember the 3D button reminder I always mention each time we create a curve point? I'll show you why that's needed. If we don't switch the curve point to 3D, then we're limited to extrude only in 2D. This means we can't extrude upward to match the shape. I'll show you what happens when we switch the curve mode to 3D after extruding in 2D first. Please don't follow this part. What I have done was extruding the curve in 2D first, and changed to 3D after that. Let's see what happens. Almost done. Let's work on the bottom part a bit, and apply the screw modifier. Do you remember how we can add a new curve point by subdividing after selecting two curve points first? That won't work here. Since this curve point was extruded as 2D first, we can't shift select both points. The only way to get around this would be selecting the entire bottom curve points. I'll show you what I mean. If we right-click and type S, then we can subdivide the curve in order to create a new curve point in the middle. This curve point was created in 3D, but the entire curve mesh will be discarded because the screw modifier won't work correctly. What is happening is this. Since we've started our curve mesh from 2D, and converted to 3D afterward, we're getting a bug. The screwed mesh looks much wider than how we have designed the original curve mesh. We also have triangular faces in the upper part of the mesh, and that was not in our original design. This is why it's so important for everyone to press the 3D button, as soon as creating a new curve point. The only way to fix this issue would be removing this mesh and start from the beginning again. This issue can't be repaired. Let's delete the whole thing and try again. "3D button, please." E and X to extrude on the X-axis. E and Z to extrude on the Z-axis. We need to make sure the last point's X is set to 0. There is our casing mesh. Let's work on the bullet mesh. Let's right-click the curve in object mode to convert it to mesh. Ctrl 1 to subdivide. Right-click and shade smooth to smooth the surface. Let's subdivide the casing mesh as well. Let's go to edit mode, and start to work on the edge loops. Alt-select to select an edge loop. Ctrl B, with the mouse wheel, up, twice to bevel the loop like this. We need to bevel the edge loops that are going to be sharp. In edit mode, 3 to face select. Let's use the circle select tool with C to select and remove the bottom faces. Let's alt-select the bottom edge loop. E to extrude, and Enter to settle. S to scale inward. Ctrl 3 to subdivide the mesh in object mode. Let's apply the PBR texture images. I'll share the link in the description below. Select the main node, and press Ctrl, Shift, and T together to add the PBR texture images. To use the Ctrl, Shift, T feature, we need to activate an add-on called the Node Wrangler. I'll add a ground plane. Let's duplicate and rotate the bullet mesh. I'll use the sky texture. Let's turn off Use Nodes under Compositing. I'll also use 32 samples to render. This is the end of the tutorial. Thank you for watching.